The newcomers are violent, most behave, but some take advantage of the women and men hosts and kill the hosts daily. Their brains are wiped, so they do not have memories of the assaults, the rapes, the betrayals, the murders, and the torture because they regress the memories of the host one day. Something goes wrong with Delores' father. He finds a photo in the park and breaks. He can't process what he has found. It's just a photo and stares at the photos and stutters and looks agitated. Maeve and Clementine are sex workers in the saloon who greet the male and female guests. The newcomers come on vacation for celebration, for vacation, birthdays, bachelor parties, and do as they will. No regard for the so-called robots that are labeled as hosts. Maeve has memories that are of her old life where the natives kidnapped her only child. She brushes it off as a random thought. No host has any idea this is just a narrative. It feels so real to Maeve. She dreams of the man in black she can't kill with even a gun. See, guns do not work on humans in West.
It's not about giving the guests what you think they want. It's not that simple. Titillation, horror.
Courtesy of HBO's Westworld Season 1.
Back because of the subtleties, the details.
Courtesy of HBO's Westworld Season 1.
They come back because they discover something they imagine no one had ever noticed before.
Courtesy of HBO's Westworld Season 1.
Something they fall in love with.
Throne Room.
They're not looking for a story that tells them who they are. They already know.
Teresa and Bernard work together, and they work often very close, so no one really said anything. Some of the hosts are being touched by the technicians and engineers. No one even cares truly because there is so much work to be done. Everyone is busy, from the technicians that clean the hosts and those who repair their wounds or even a full rebuild. What Bernard and Ford do is very complicated. The hosts are their lifeblood of Westworld. The Delos Corporation is just the investors who own the machines. They do not own any intellectual property, but it is known there may have been a leak because Delos is using the park to harvest DNA and also other details of the guests. They had to grow to be competitive in this industry, and their staff assists with the upkeep, marketing. They are the business, and Delos is the innovator of hosts who are so lifelike they do not know they are robots.
Bernard works with Delores and checks on her daily. It's like a dream to her, but in reality she is actually present with Bernard in her virtual mind. She starts to think differently, and Bernard doesn't process why Delores thinks this way, so he tells her to not log their interaction and erase their conversation. Control-Alt-Delete. Ford rejects a new storyline. The Delos writer Sesamore, to his credit, has worked day and night to bring into reality, but with all the romance, horror, titillation, and adventure, Sesamore attempts to sail, but fails to win over Ford in front of the board. Ford says no and then explains to Sesamore people do not come back to Westworld for a few cheap thrills. They come back because they know who they are. They came back for the things they never noticed before, and they come back for the details. They come back because it is something they fell in love with. Arnold Weber, Ford's partner, had a theory the behemoth mind as the programming of the host.
This might ruffle some feathers. We promised them a new storyline.
A new narrative is being played out, and the newcomers, or Delos, have no idea Dr. Ford is already testing a new narrative. The park's CEO, a woman who sleeps with Bernard, wants to stop Ford for some reason. She is not with him, but against him. It seems wrong for her to not want Ford involved in the park when Ford and Arnold built Westworld from nothing. Delores has become conscious. Bernard is very careful. He constantly tells Delores not log their conversations. In this way it covers his tracks. He doesn't want Ford or Delos to know. He tells Delores to keep it as their little secret. Bernard wants to restore her to who she was before, scared that Ford will find out he has concealed his private upgrade of Delores. Even Teddy, her love interest, has gone on a new quest of adventure and a new narrative Ford creates behind the scenes without the approval of the board. Delos is the investor who financed the park. The heir to Delos Corporation is Logan. He takes his brother-in-law William to Westworld as a celebration of marriage to his sister.
Delores also dropped a Ken, which is her narrative, her storyline she routinely does daily for decades. And then there was William. He then sees a host that he feels is not like the other hosts he has met. Logan speaks about Delores, and he gives zero fucks. He give damn how anyone feels about him. He confronts William and Pariah. He has no remorse, he has no empathy. Sorry about how he feels about hosts. He stabs a host, he kills. He is a villain in real life and in the remote world of Westworld. Logan knows who he is, whereas William is a man who has to work hard to get where he is today. He is vice president of Delos, which helps him as he will marry the Delos patriarch's only daughter. Bernard is asked to betray Ford, but he seems to be playing both sides. The CEO attends a meeting with Ford and is scared to death after Ford knew she came as a child to Westworld, and he also knows she has no love for the amazing world. Even though she works for Delos, she loathes the park. Ford tells her, "Don't get in my way." It appears to be a nice, but it's still a threat. Teresa leaves, but is concerned, but even more determined to remove the power from Ford using Bernard. The Revelries update is an update that Bernard is actually updated Delores within secret, but Ford knows the mistakes that make the host more conscious of what they do in the past and present. Some who are not ready break, they are not ready. One is Abernathy. He tells Ford a crazy line from Shakespeare, and he is commanded to inform of his current build, and he talks of the things you do to Delores. He is shaken and can even speak. He is so crazy he is breaking down emotionally, and he is commanded to freeze all motor functions. Then he is told to tell Ford of his current build, and then threatens him again and tries to hurt Ford.
Delores finds she wants more than just Sweetwater. She wants to get out of her hometown and venture out of all she knows. She feels that something is very wrong with the world built by Ford and Arnold, but she can't put her finger on it. Stubbs and the security try to find Delores' father after he is out of his loop. The other hosts seem to have caught the same virus as Abernathy and have went on to another narrative unknown to the Delos Corporation, so things change rapidly.